Hi, for video discussion number 4, we are reflecting on the article Race, Class, Disproportionality, Reevaluating the Relationship Between Poverty and Special Education Placement. This article highlights some of the factors that may influence a student's behavior. There are many factors that may influence a student's behavior that are outside the control of the student, parents, and staff. Poverty, race, and developmental delays are highlighted in this article as contributing factors in student placement. Poverty can be a contributing factor on the student's behavior that can't be controlled by parents and teachers. On page 7 of this article, it summarizes the theory that 1. Minorities are likely to be poor. 2. Being poor increases risk factors that compromise early development. 3. Compromised early development delays and impacts school preparedness and suppresses academic achievement, highlighting and heightening the need for special education. Thus, minorities are more likely to need special education by this theory. In those cases where poverty makes any contributing factor to explain a disproportionality, its effect is primarily to magnify already existing racial disparities as noted to this theory. Due to the current pandemic, many people are underemployed or unemployed. Illinois currently has a minimum wage at $8.25 an hour and is moving towards a $10 an hour pay rate by July 2020 and $15 an hour by 2025. With this in mind, some employers won't hire minorities, and if they do, it's as a last resort. Finding employment is extremely difficult under normal circumstances. This current pandemic makes it even harder for minorities to find employment. Minorities without college educations frequently end up with low-paying jobs or jobs that other people don't want. It's difficult for parents to supply students with necessary supplies and experiences if their pay rate is at $8.25 an hour, working 32 to 40 hours a week. Race can also have an impact on how students act and respond in class with staff and other students. This article refers to a situation where SPED 2001 analyzed disciplinary referrals and found that in comparison to whites, black students are referred for more subjective and less serious offenses. This article suggests on page 9 that the consequences are apparent in light of the fact that externalizing behaviors like aggression as compared to internalizing behaviors like anxiety are usually what cause the labeling of children as emotional or behavior disorders. And that refers to a Walker piece from 1995. Students also notice the differences in how minority students are treated for doing the same or similar behaviors as compared to white students. Frequently, minority youth attend underfunded, under-resourced schools that are plagued by low teacher quality and less competitive courses. So if minority students are held to the same expectations of their white counterparts or other students for that matter, it should have equal or comparable school standards. In order to segregate minority students, many are labeled with developmental delays in order to place them in special education classes outside of the regular circulation of gen ed classes. This article discusses a report that describes the households as poor, as less optimum, and that parent-child interactions are frequently negative. The report then recounted studies that documented relationships between SES and how parents interacted with their children on a number of dimensions. The report offered that these studies showed evidence that poor families depress their children's development.